Well, happy Monday morning to you. I hope that that phrase isn't too much of a oxymoron. I hope you indeed do have a happy Monday morning. But to kick off the week, what I wanted to do is I wanted to let you guys know how you can be praying for me. And I want to ask you the question, how can I be praying for you? So before we even get into what I have to say, I want you to know that, like, if you want to hit me up on Messenger, hit me up on direct message or whatever, and just let me know like what you're going through, how I can be praying for you. I would love to do that as well. But I want to let you know how you can be praying for me. So yesterday, the Lord really was working in my own heart through the message that I preached, and that'll be up on the internet later this week. The message that I preached yesterday. But one of the things that I saw in the text that we were looking at was the idea that we as human beings, we love to get our sufficiency from something. In other words, there's something out there that both you and I look at and we go, that's what makes me worthy. That's what makes me awesome. That's why I have value. That's why I have dignity. That's why I have worth. So there's something out there. And for all of us, it's a little different. So like for you, you might be like, look, I've got value and I've got worth and I've got dignity because of my family. So I'm married to so-and-so, and if I can have the fairy tale happily ever after marriage, that's why I've got dignity, that's why I've got value, that's what makes me important, that's where my sufficiency comes from. Maybe it's not your spouse, maybe it's your kids. So if my kids turn out to be the way I want them to be, that's why I have dignity, that's why I have value, that's why I have worth. It's your job, it's your money, it's your health. Which, by the way, all those things I just named, they're not bad. Like, it's great to be healthy. It's great to have enough money. It's great to be in all of those positions. But the problem is, every single one of those things will, in turn, at some point, let you down. Right? Because you won't have as much money as your neighbor, or your career won't go the direction you want it to go, or you're going to fight with your spouse, or your kids are going to be crazy sinners, because that's what they are, or you're going to get a bad doctor's report, and you're going to be let down by your health. And so what I'm learning in my own life, this is me personally, just confessing to 2 billion of my closest friends on Facebook. But what I'm learning in my life is that it's so easy for me not to necessarily find my sufficiency in all those things I just listed, although there are temptations, and at times I do. But for me, leading a church as a pastor, it's so easy for me to find my sufficiency in my performance as a pastor, whether it be in preaching, whether it be in the amount of people that show up, whether it be in the reach that I have, or the amount of likes that a post gets. If I'm posting something about Jesus or posting something about church. And that will always let me down. It just will. Because there's always going to be work that needs to be done, improvements that need to be made. My sufficiency can't be found in anything but Jesus. Because see, here's what the gospel says. There's really only one thing that exists that has the power to hold up our sufficiency and not let us down. So there's only one thing in this world that we look to and we go, okay, this is where my sufficiency is found. And that thing can actually hold the weight of that. And that's Christ. That's Jesus. If we find our sufficiency in Jesus, if we look at Christ and we say, you know what, the reason that I know I have worth, the reason that I know I have value, the reason that I know regardless of what anybody says to me today, whether I'm accepted or unaccepted, whether I'm loved or unloved, whether I'm responded to or I get no response. I mean, whether that thing that I'm pursuing works out or it doesn't. The reason I know I can lay my head on my pillow at night and know that I have worth, that I have value, that I have sufficiency is because the God of the universe looks at me and says, I love you. And so if you're looking to pray for me this week, you can pray that I would be reminded of that. Because it's so easy for me personally to just kind of get involved and get working and get moving and find myself doing all of these things trying to serve Jesus, but trying to find my sufficiency in my service to Jesus rather than just in Jesus himself. Now, let me turn it on you for a second. How can I pray for you this week? I know that some of you, you might be going through a lot. You might be going through a lot of things that I wouldn't personally understand because I've never been there. Some of you, I know plenty of people who are ill. They've gotten bad doctor's reports. Can I pray for you about that? I know that there's plenty of people out there who they've got family issues. Things aren't the way that you want them to be, or listen, the way that you want them to appear on social media. That happens all the time where people are like, yeah, social media, boom, look at the family, here we are, everything's perfect. And as soon as the picture's taken, everybody goes back to pulling each other's hair out. Maybe it's not that. Maybe there's a financial stress. Maybe there's anxiety with work. Maybe there's a loved one that you know that's sick. Maybe you're going through some struggles. Maybe you, like me, are realizing that you're finding your sufficiency in things other than Jesus. I would encourage you. You can hit me up, Messenger. Let me know how I can be praying for you. And I appreciate your prayers this week. Like I said at the beginning, hope you have a fantastic Monday, and I hope you have a great week.